Okay, here we go with this week's math mini lesson. We're going to build off of last week's mini lesson where we learned about mean, median, mode, and range. And this week we're going to learn about the mad. No, not like that kind of mad, like that girl. I'm not sure what she's so angry about, but she does look mad. We're going to learn about the mean absolute deviation, although it is known as the mad. Okay. Actually, a couple of those words you probably are already familiar with, especially mean and absolute. We've learned about those vocabulary words in math this year. We just learned about mean last week, absolute in the fall. Deviation, we haven't talked a lot about deviation, okay? So that will be new. Um, I'd like you to go get a calculator if you have one. You can use your phone. Something to write with. Pen, paper, whiteboard, chalkboard, no walls, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and come back. Oh, great, you paused it. Awesome, you're back. So let's take a look at today's problem. Henry's first 5 math test grades of the year were a 90, a 75, an 85, a 100, and an 80. Great job, Henry, especially on that 100. It must have been algebra. So the first step in the MAD, I see the word mean. So we're going to calculate the mean. You learned how to do that last week. So we're going to add up those numbers. He got a 90 on his first test. Go ahead and do that. 75, an 85, 100, and an 80. So Henry got a total of 400. Nice job. 30 points. Now that's not his average, right? He had 5 tests. So I'm going to take 430 and divide it by 5. You can go ahead and do that and see what Henry's average comes out to be. Nice thing is I don't have to always do this because School Tool does it for me when I calculate your grades. So divide by 5. And Henry's average comes out to be 86. Not too bad. Okay, we just did the first step of the MAD. We calculated the mean. Now we have to move to step 2, the absolute part. So how far away is that number? Okay, the mean from the actual score. So on one test, Henry got a 90 and his mean's an 86. So 90 minus 86 is 4. Now another test, he got a 75, the mean is 86. So if I subtract those, it's a negative 11, or they're 11 points away. Same thing on the next one. You got an 85, he's 1 point away. He's 14 points away, and he's a negative 6 points away. The thing is, it doesn't really matter the negative sign, okay? So really, again, what I'm concerned about, and sometimes I like to do mine this way. I'll scroll down here, and I'll draw a line. And I'll even ignore the negative. I'll just say, oh, 86, so that means they're 4 away. 86 from 75, that's 11 away. That's 1 away. That's 14 away. And that's 6 away. So now I have my new set of numbers down here. And step 3, guess what I'm going to do with that new set of numbers, the deviation. I'm actually going to find the mean again. So find the mean of the differences. So again, I'm really finding 4 plus 11, and you can add this up on your calculator on your paper, plus 1 plus 14. That plus sign did not come out good. Plus 14 plus 6. Okay. So I'm not going to use a calculator for this one. I'm going to do it mentally. So I've got 20, 21, 32, 36. 36 divided by 5. 36 divided by 5 comes out to be a mean, a new mean, which is now my MAD, of 7.2. So the MAD is 7.2. So it's kind of like finding almost two means. Okay, the second one is your deviation, but that turns out to be your mad. So it winds up being 7.2. All right, a little tricky, right? Let's try one on your own, okay? So Avery struck out the following amount of batters in her first 5 softball games this year. 5 batters, 7 batters, 5 batters, 10 batters, 8 batters. Whew, Avery sounds like she's on fire. So step number 1, you remember what it is? What do we have to do with this set of data? I'm going to find the mean. So I'm going to add these up. 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 10 plus 8. And I get 35. 35 divided by 5, right, should be 7. So therefore, my mean is 7. So step 1 is done. Now I have to calculate how far each one of these numbers is away from 7. And I don't really care about the negative sign. So I like to draw a line underneath. How far is 5 away from 7? Oh, that's 2. How far is 7 away from 7? Oh, that's 0. How far is 7 from 5? Oh, that's 2. How far is 7 from 10? That's 3. How far is 7 from 8? That's 1. So I have a new set of numbers. Okay, that's step 2 I just did. Now step 3, final step, is on these new set of numbers right here. I'm going to calculate the mean again of that new set. So 2, obviously plus 0 is 2, plus 2, plus 3, plus 1 is 8. And then I'm going to take 8 and I'm going to divide it by 5. Even though I have a 0 there, that still counts as a data point. So 8 divided by 5 comes out to, whoops, that wasn't right. Let's try that again. 8 divided by 5, I think it comes out to be 1.6. There we go. It's 1.6. So the MAD is 1.6. Again, that's the MAD. So there's a couple steps in having to figure it out. Pretty much 3 steps, right? Finding the mean, finding how far away those numbers are from the mean, and then figuring out the mean again. Now, what's the purpose of all this? What's the purpose of the MAD? We'll get into more of that next week. But really, the lower your MAD is, means the more consistent you are. So Avery's MAD is 1.6. Means she's pretty consistent. Actually, if I draw a number line here, okay, and I put 1, 2, 3. It's really hard sometimes drawing on this. 4. Wish we were in class with a smartboard. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to stop at 9. 9. So what does this tell me? Her mean is 7. So right here, she strikes out an average of 7 batters a game. What the MAD tells me is how consistent Avery is. So 1.6, I'll round that up to 2. Okay, that means she's pretty much striking out 2 people below 7 and 2 above 7. So most of her data is falling between 5 and 9. And look at that, it really is all except for 1. That means she's really consistent, okay? The further spread out it is, something is less consistent. And that's why we use the MAD to help us understand variability in a data set. I'll give one more example here, okay? I know this one lesson was a little bit longer. You're doing a great job hanging in there. I'm going to get rid of the calculator here. Here's 2 basketball players, Terry and Chris. Now they both averaged in 8 games, 9.5 points. I already calculated to try to speed things up for you, okay? So the mean came out to be 9.5. However, even though they're averaging the same amount of points per game, right? Oops, and that's not right, sorry. It should be 0.5. I already calculated that. Up here, be earlier. Terry's MAD is only 0.5. And Chris's MAD is 3.75. So if they're averaging 9.5 points per game, that means all Terry's points, whoa, are right here. He's very, very consistent, and it does fall right here, all his baskets. Whereas Chris, I'll say his mean is, we said 9.5, which is right here. His MAD's about 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 below, 1, 2, 3, 4 above, and most of his baskets are, except for those two falling outside, are within that range, but it's a bigger range. It's getting wider, so he's not as a consistent as basketball player as Terry is, okay? He has some good games, some bad games, whereas Terry's pretty much right around 9 or 10 points every game, okay? So the MAD, it may make you get mad. Try not to, okay? Go outside, have some fun, relax for a little bit. It's actually pretty cool. I really like using the MAD to understand variability. There's a couple other concepts we'll learn understand variability, but this is a great one, all right? If you're having any difficulty with it, make sure you watch this lesson again. You can email me or definitely stop in a Google Meet on Tuesday or Thursday, and I can walk you through the steps. We can screen share, and we can figure it out together, okay? Your CK12 lesson, let's go to it right here. Finding MAD, it's called. Some of you are still not hitting that submit button. Please, 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 please do that, okay? That way I don't have to go into every account and look at whether you submitted your assignment or not. So you'll work through the data set here. Whoops, I forgot. Your screen looks different than mine. I'm going to make mine large. That way we can see it better. It will walk you through what we just did, some examples, some interactives on how to find the MAD. You can skip this interactive right here, engineering a catapult. Okay, so please skip this interactive. And so when you get to here, in case you forgot my steps, they're here again for you. Make sure you go to view practice and start your practice. Okay? All right, have fun with the MAD. Just don't get mad.